Next thing I want to show you is if you're going to jig fish. If I'm going to jig fish this early in the year, a lot of times I'll downsize and use something really small. This is called a Bitsy bug or a Bitsy flip. It's got a heavy hook in it. It's made by Strike King, and this is a 1/4 ounce. And one thing I want to show you about this jig is look at the color. You can barely see it maybe, but the color is kind of pale and faded out. Most of the fish you catch this time of year, and most of the critters that are swimming around, they've come out of deep water, so they have a pale color to them. They're not colored like they are in the summertime. And you really need to match the hatch, and you need to keep that in mind. A little small jig like this, I've caught some really big fish. It's got a good hook in it. Excellent bait to try. And also, along those same lines, the Buckeye spot remover jig head. This is a spot remover jig, and it's an excellent finesse bait for the same reasons. And then if you want a little bit bigger jig to drag out deeper, or, this is going back to kind of like the rattle trap when you got a warming trend and you're looking for a group of fish that have moved up. This is a jig, the gripper jig made by Berkeley. It's got Jay Ellis's name on it. And you can see this jig is kind of a paled out color also, and an excellent color. And these are the baits that I would try as I'm fishing at Lake Murray or any cold water lake this year. I would try to downsize my baits, use a pale color, and remember to move slow.
All right, now let's talk about weights. Last weekend, Bassmaster Weekend Series was on Murray. Winning weight was 16 pounds, which was a lot less than the weight just 2 weeks ago, which was in a lot of bags in the 20s. What causes a change like that? Water temp, pulling water, what's going on?
It's really hard to say. It's just, to me, it takes just the same amount of skill to catch 16 pounds as it does 24. You can be doing the right thing and only catch a 15-pound bag. You can be doing the right thing and catch a 25-pound bag. And it doesn't really, it's all about areas this time of year. This time of year, keep in mind, it's not as much about the bait that you're throwing, although these baits are important. But there are certain areas that the fish are biting and certain areas that they aren't. And that's one thing that I had to learn about springtime fishing. I would be fishing in Colonel Creek, and somebody else would really catch a big bag in beaver. In the springtime, more than any other, you're looking for areas. And once you find an area, once you get a bite, then you can slow down and try to figure out what's the best way to catch those fish. But that is a very good point. I would just say that the guy that caught 24 pounds got in the right area, and the guy that caught 16, he also got in the right area. It just wasn't quite as good.
Well, buddy, it's always good seeing you. We're going to be following you closely on the tour this year. And, folks, if you haven't been to Sportsman's Warehouse to kick off 2011, we've said it over and over, but they really are loaded up with inventory. They got as much tackle in the store right now as they've ever had in the history of its existence here in Columbia. It's right off the Piney Grove Road exit, I-26, easy to get to, online at www.sportsmanswarehouse.com for a location near you. They just opened a new one up in Mississippi. Daryl, great seeing you. It's time. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I tell you what, all you got to do is come into Sportsman's Warehouse and walk around. I guarantee you'll find something new that you haven't seen here before, and you'll find some baits that you just got to have to catch fish. I'm ready to go.
All right, well, we'll see you in a week or two before you hit the road, and that'll wrap up this week's edition of the Sportsman's Warehouse Report. If you go out on the water this weekend, take care, be safe. We'll see you next week.